When I was 15, my first job was carrying boxes of fish from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. And I would run to work. So I'd leave the house at 6, I'd run an hour, I'd get there at 7, I'd finish work at 5, and then I'd run from there to the fight gym. Get to the fight gym, I'd get there early before training started, I'd eat food next to the gym, and then I'd train, and then I would get a ride home from my girlfriend at the time. So my entire life was 17 hours a day of just running and working and carrying boxes and fighting. And I can't be more thankful. You know, I don't want to be arrogant, but I'm going to. I really do believe I've had the perfect life. Now, I don't know if that's actually because I have the perfect life or if I framed it that way, but I am so thankful for everything. I am so glad I got to grow up poor because I wouldn't appreciate money if I didn't. And I'm so glad I got to spend my 20s, that decade where you're as powerful as possible fighting. And I'm so glad I've had difficult jobs and no money. And I'm so glad I couldn't pay my bills so that I appreciate now all the money I have. And I'm so glad I had the parents I had. And I'm so glad all these bad things happened to me, but enough good things happened. And I just really feel like it's been the perfect path. And I think back on that job. I think back on how my life was back then. And I realized that I wouldn't appreciate any of the things I have now without them. There's absolutely no light without dark. The best thing about being rich is talking about how you used to be poor. Otherwise, it's no point being rich at all. You're not going to enjoy any of it. You're going to end up addicted to drugs and doing crazy stuff, right?
Yep.
I know for a fact when I talk about how the world works, and people say, but why would the people in charge do that? And I say, because they view you as scum. And the reason they view you as scum is, I can say this, and I'm not saying this in a horrible way. I'm from a council estate, right? I came from absolutely nothing. And I'm now at my position in life. I know how hard I've worked. When I meet somebody who's whatever, 50 years old, and they have absolutely zero money, I don't think, oh, he's had it hard. I thought, he just didn't, he was lazy. Your sympathy disappears after a certain amount of time. When you pull it off, you pulled it off, I pulled it off. When you've been through X amount of shit to pull it off, and everyone's just coming out with excuses all the time, sympathy vanishes.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I'm sorry, I don't buy your shit.
Right.
You're too busy sniffing, drinking pints, doing all this dumb shit. I wasn't doing it. I don't feel sorry for you people. And that's what happens after a certain amount of time. So if I feel that way, and I'm also from a council estate. Imagine these people who were born as billionaires. Yeah. How do you think they view us? You think they give a shit about wrecking our currency? They don't give a fuck. You better find something to eat on the floor. They don't give a shit. This world is so much crueler than people understand. I've had people all the time come to me saying, yeah, I want to make money. Go take a half an hour and learn about fractional reserve banking. Learn you don't even know how money works.
Yeah.
You don't even know how a bank works. Like, how are you gonna make something you don't know what it is?
Right.
Like, it's crazy, man.
What role has fitness played in that for you?
I can answer that question in lots of ways. The first one is the simple one: a strong body is a strong mind. Secondly, there's a lot of discipline required in fitness, and discipline can be applied to universally to all things. Discipline is a skill you can pull out of your pocket and apply to anything. You can force yourself to do something you don't want to do because you're disciplined, not because you're motivated, like we said earlier on, not because you feel like doing it, but because you're supposed to do it. Mm-hmm. Thirdly, this is something that not many other people say, so I'm going to say it. There is a unspoken rule amongst men, and I remember a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago, there were women on Twitter or women on the internet saying, when men meet, do they always think about the possibility of violence? Does that cross their mind? And they were surprised by that fact. Mm-hmm. That if men we met for a podcast, but if you meet men in an unfriendly scenario or you don't know who they are, for a fraction of a second, you're thinking, can I win this fight? Mm-hmm. Are they going to attack me? Mm-hmm. It crosses our minds. We live in a very physical realm.
Sure.
Any man who doesn't has been polluted by the matrix and will never be competitive and is doomed to fail. But if you're truly competitive, like you should be as a man, it always crosses your mind. And one of the important things about physical fitness that most people never talk about, never say, is men treat you different when they know that you'd be hard to hurt. Life treats you different. Women certainly do. That's an obvious one, right? Women like muscly guys because muscly guys can fight. Obviously that's not the case, but that's how they look dangerous, right? But men also treat you differently, which means society as a whole treats you differently. I would argue that if you wanted to run any kind of company or even do sales or do anything else, let's go back to sales. Let's talk about what we were saying earlier. If I wanted to sell windows and I came in fantastic physical condition, the person who's buying from me, one, knows I'm disciplined, and two, knows I'm diligent. That's going to be some massive advantages from my sales perspective.
Right.
But also, I would argue that men are happy to look up to somebody who is physically strong in a different regard. I think it would be difficult for you to be a true leader unless you showed some degree of physical prowess. I think that's just the way the world has always worked at a deep level. When a man looks at a guy who's 6'8" and jacked and he says, we're gonna go into battle, you're more motivated to go into battle beside him because he's 6'8" and jacked. You feel like you're gonna win. You like the idea of being led
Safety
by a
and strength.
warrior.
Right.
So there's that huge element to it as well. And the final part of it all is that it's so much easier to keep something than it is to gain something. And once you're in good physical shape, it's actually so easy to maintain as opposed to ever get there. Mm-hmm. It's so hard to get there that if you ever get there, you may as well just keep it.
I think that a lot of people, the main reason people aren't rich, there's probably 3 primary reasons. They're either lazy, they're arrogant, or they're stupid. I think lazy is actually quite a small contingent, because I think a lot of people get out here and they work very hard to a degree. Like, even if you're a trash man, that's still work. You're working hard, you're just not making any money. And also, I think if you could show somebody how to make money, a lot of people would do it. I don't think they're that lazy. If you say, look, press this button for money, they're not gonna go, no, I can't be bothered. They're gonna go, all right, okay. They're just lazy to find out how, perhaps. Yeah. But once they know how, they'll do it. Stupid, I think, is also a very small percentage. I think that stupid is a small percentage because I don't think that IQ, in fact, it's been proven, IQ has nothing to do with how successful you are.
Right.
Very rich people, very smart people are broke. Very dumb people are rich. So I don't think that stupid is the reason people aren't rich. The reason 98% of people aren't rich is because they're arrogant. They're brutally arrogant. And I say that because you will stand up and say, I'm gonna do an event and I'm gonna teach you how to make money from real estate. And people will look at you with all your success and go, what does he know? Fuck him. Not worth my time. You're the millionaire, they ain't. I'll sit here and say, I'll give you free tips on how to make money online. $100 million, go to COMPETITVE.com, just sign up, get a free email newsletter. Yeah, I saw him on TikTok, he's full of shit. How arrogant, genuinely arrogant in your soul must you be as an individual to look at people who are massively successful with all the credentials and all the proof, all the things they talk about, and believe for some reason you're too good to listen to them.
Yeah.
That's just arrogance. If Mike Tyson walked in here and said he's gonna teach me how to punch, even though I'm already a kickboxing world champion, I'd listen. It's Mike Tyson. If Beethoven walked in, if he resurrected and walked in and said, teach me piano, I'd listen. Yeah. But if I sit there and say, look, this is how you make money, there's a large contingent of people out here who go, yeah, but you know what, Tate, I don't like him. I didn't ask you to like me. I'm telling you how to make money. Yeah. Like, they're just arrogant. People are brutally arrogant, and it holds them back. They refuse to fucking learn or listen to anything. And they're dummies. A bunch of fucking dummies. And arrogance is the reason 98% of people don't have any money. That's why, they're just fucking arrogant and stupid.
When you were young, was it a big dream to be rich as fuck?
Yes, because money is freedom, and anybody who says they don't care about being rich is saying they don't care about being free.
What was the dream for you though?
Freedom. Money is freedom. Anyone who says, oh, I don't care about money, I don't care about fancy things. It's not about fancy things. It's the ability to go where you want and sleep where you want and say what you want and think what you want and talk to who you want and even get the girl you want and drive the car you want and eat the food you want. To sit and say, I don't care about money is to say, I don't care about my own personal freedom. I have no problems being a slave and being constrained by the financial system and being told what to do because I don't have any desire to be free.
What books did you read to cultivate that desire early on when you decided you want to get rich? Or, you know what I mean?
I'm not really a big reader. I just understood that there was a version of reality that I had yet to experience. I saw my parents struggle to pay the bills, and I saw my friends struggle to pay the bills, and I saw everyone around me unable to eat, and then I saw certain people with $500,000 cars, and I understood there must be a different version of reality. There must be a version of making money, a version of banking, of finance, of education, of knowledge, of network, of connections that existed outside the matrix. There has to be a different world. Mm-hmm. This world I'm in, everyone's poor, this is garbage. That world, I can see people are living a reality that I can't even fathom. Mm-hmm. I couldn't even imagine having $500,000 for a car.
Or a $500,000 watch.